Next up at UFC 286, we have the feature fight of the evening. We have Gunnar Nelson taking on Bryan Barberena. Gunnar Nelson is 2-3 in his last 5, coming off his first win in 5 years. 18-5 overall. What?
Isn't it Gunnar?
God, I hope not.
I think it is because he's Norwegian. I think it's Gunnar.
What a stupid ass name that is. He's taking on Bryan Barberena, 18-9 overall, 3-2 in his last 5, coming off that submission loss to Rafael Dos Anjos. And that's why these odds are what they are, right? That's why Gunnar is a minus 450.
I could be wrong with that, but I'm pretty sure. You're
100% wrong. You're 100% wrong.
No, I'm not.
The reason he's a minus 450 favorite is because everybody just watched the RDA fight, saw Bryan get taken down a couple of times, and then ultimately submitted. And it's like, oh, Gunnar Nelson has solid jiu-jitsu, solid grappling. He should be able to get that done. I don't necessarily think it's that easy because Gunnar Nelson's got that long karate style, and that makes his takedowns pretty trash, honestly, because he has to close so much distance because he's all long and stupid, and then he has to get close, square up, and then shoot. So his takedown percentage is low. His takedowns are a bit telegraphed. And Bryan Barberena will never be the more technical guy in a fight. He's never going to be the more technical guy in that cage. But he will almost always be the tougher guy, always be the guy pushing and trying to get that done. He is a fun guy. He's a brawler, great gas tank, and you really have to finish him to get him out of there. And Gunnar Nelson wouldn't be the first sort of older vet that Bryan Barberena just beat him in his tracks. Look what he did to Robbie Lawler. Obviously, different type of matchup. I do think Gunnar Nelson wins. I think he has to grapple to win because if he's going to strike with Bryan Barberena, again, Bryan Barberena is never the more technical guy. But he's going to throw hard. He's going to stay in your face. He's going to give you a hard time. And it just feels to me that Gunnar Nelson shows up for these UFC London cards for the paycheck, fighting.
Oh, my God.
How disrespectful. I do not get,
hey, Gunnar.
I'm being very disrespectful. I am.
My grandmother
I don't get
was
the
Norwegian,
impression.
and I apologize. I would never treat another Norwegian that way.
I just don't get the impression that he's in there. He didn't even look at his last fight. He went out there. He dominated a short notice guy who hasn't been there for years. No, he didn't. They couldn't even put him away. So I do think Gunnar wins because there's a bigger gap on the ground than there is anywhere else in this fight. But Bryan Barberena will fight for your money. I'm not betting on him, but he's a tough guy, and this could be the parlay buster of the evening. But Gunnar Nelson's going to be the pick.
Gunnar is my most confident play on this card because I think it is a perfect matchup for him. Listen, if it was anyone else, I don't trust the striking of Gunnar. I don't trust his takedowns. I agree.
Stop. It's not Gunnar. Stop saying
it is Gunnar. It literally is. The chat confirmed it. It's Gunnar. That's how you say it.
And they're okay.
You threw me off. Yeah, I don't know what to do anymore. Lost my train of thought.
Okay. All right. Cool. He's your most confident.
No, I was going to say, you were right about the takedown. He doesn't have very good takedowns. On the ground, obviously, he is an issue. But against a guy like Bryan Barberena, I think that Bryan struggles with the range, right? And he's not a powerful puncher guy, so I don't have to worry about the one hit, the one-hitter quitter type shot that's going to land on Gunnar. And when he tries to close the distance, that's when Gunnar will be there with the body clinch and then the takedown. So it's not going to be Gunnar that's having to chase down Bryan and take him down. It's going to be Bryan because he is an aggressive guy. He will fight for your money. Angela is absolutely right. He will press forward. He will try to throw volume. But once he gets inside the striking of Gunnar will just body clinch him and then take him down because every single person takes Bryan Barberena down. That's just what happens. Every single person that he fights takes him down. So I think Gunnar can get the takedowns in those clinch situations. But if he wants to just stand and strike, I think he can just kind of outpoint Bryan, kind of trying to blitz in with that volume because he's not a powerful guy. He lacks holes in the wrestling, and I think Gunnar just matches up perfectly with a guy like Bryan. But I do appreciate Bryan taking this fight, so we still have an opponent for Gunnar. But yeah, I'm Gunnar all the way.
It's funny. I was on.
Oh, it's Iceland, not Norway. Sorry.
Yeah. And I'm on.
It's the same thing.
So it is Gunnar. Yeah. So I'm on.
Yeah, fuck that guy. Actually, you know what? Bryan Barberena is definitely gonna fucking.
So I went to Tapology just to he's your most confident pick. He hasn't had a finish in 4 years. And then I'm just scrolling down and Tapology has the very first so they do, like, people write their picks and stuff like this, but they don't organize it so that the fight you're looking at is the description you're reading. Anyway, the very first paragraph written by a random comment person on Tapology starts off with, Italians have always been very chinny in the UFC. So I was like, fuck you. Wow. Meanwhile, Vettori has the chin of all chins in that division. Well, anyway.
Just jinx the shit out of that. Might want to play Roman first round KO now.
I have Roman inside a distance decision, no action. We're good. Listen, I think Gunnar Nelson wins this. I think Gunnar Nelson wins this fight. Like I said, the skill gap on the ground is wider than any other potential skill gap anywhere. And Bryan Barberena in this matchup is really just a tough guy, right? He's just going to be super tough and come forward. He's not going to be more technical. He's not going to be faster. We somehow lost Jacob. So Gunnar Nelson going to be the pick. What happened? You clicked the button by accident?
No, it's just you're the one that's lagging out. It's not me.
I've got full internet. I don't know. Anyway, we're both on the Gunnar side. He's your most confident pick. You want to bet? I'm not going to bet against Gunnar, but I bet it. What? Let's figure out a bet.
Oh, here we go. Some bullshit bet.
Well, because
something that's going to be so crazy in favor of you, and you're going to be like, oh, Mr. Confident doesn't want to bet.
Is the round line 1.5?
It might. I don't know.
I'll bet over 1.5.
No,
I'll bet over
like
1.5.
I like over too. So it is 1.5. Over 1.5 is minus 170. So there you go. Oh, I like over 1.5.
Well, he's your most confident bet.
Yeah.
WeWantPicks.com. You can see all his bets on this guy.